The Minister of Roads and Highways, Honorable Kencity Media, has given the assurance that the government will fix all drainage systems and roads affected by last Monday's floods in the Tamale metropolis after a 4-hour downpour in the northern regional capital. He said the government will take immediate action to repair the damage to roads, bridges and other community infrastructure. Mr. Media made the remarks at the start of his inspection tour of some drains and roads affected by the floods. Last Monday, torrential rains destroyed properties running into hundreds of thousands of Ghana cedis in the Tamale metropolis, resulting in ongoing construction works at key residential and commercial enclaves of the metropolis badly damaged, and business halting activities for fear of suffering further losses. The minister, in the company of the Northern Regional Minister, Shani Alhassan Shaibu, some technical staff from the ministry and the road sector agencies later inspected the damaged storm drain at Kalariga that runs through Target to Vitin, where a fuel station had one of its underground tanks flooded, causing petrol to float on the floodwaters into the community. Mr. Media said the government was concerned about all areas of the country and cited the government's response to the recent floods in the Upper West region, where roads and bridges were damaged as evidence. He said all resources had been marshaled in order to restore road transportation to facilitate the movement of goods and people in the Upper West region, and that the same will be done in the Tamale metropolis and other parts of the northern sector of the country where roads and bridges had been affected.
The impression I have, starting from Tamale internal roads, we have a big problem and we have a big challenge. I think we have to look at the design of internal roads of Tamale differently, because I have realized that there are about 2 main storm drains, long ones running through Tamale, and Tamale Township has a problem. We have to look at it properly, redesign the internal roads, redirect the channels, build more drains to control particularly the rain waters. Tamale is in a mess, and if we don't engage in that assignment, Tamale will continue to have problems anytime it rains. And we realize that it has affected many of the internal roads.
He expressed sympathy towards those affected by the floods and stated that the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, was in the process of completing its assessment in order to provide some form of relief package to the people. Some 11 communities in the metropolis, including Vitin Target, Fuo, Sawaba and Kalariga, were affected by the floods. President Dankwa Akuffo will on Friday, September 3rd, embark on a 2-day working visit to the Western region as part of its nationwide tour. The president will on the first day pay a courtesy call on the Dompem chief at his palace and later commission the Narubizi rubber factory under the One District, One Factory initiative in the Wasa East District. The president will also call on the acting paramount chief of Shama at Yabil in the Shama district and also meet Nzima chiefs at Nzima Manle in the Siama in the Elembele district. According to Mr. Issa Fusaini, the New Patriotic Party's Regional Director of Communications, while in the Shama district, President Akuffo will visit the Keda Ghana Ceramics Company Limited at Abuadze, producers of Twyford ceramic tiles, to commission the Phase 3 of the factory and cut sod for the commencement of Phase 4. The president, on day 2, would inspect the Discove landing beach in the Hunter West municipality, cut the sod for the commencement of the Takoradi-Takwa Road in Takwa, as well as inspect the construction of a polyclinic at Bogoso in the Pristia-Huni Valley municipality. The communications director said the president will pay a courtesy call on the chief of Wasai Krupong at his palace in the Wasa Menfi East district and leave for Seshiriaso in the Western North region later on in the day.
The offenders, mostly drivers, were arrested for various offences in Accra and on major highways following the establishment of the Motor Traffic Monitoring and Surveillance Centre. The police have arrested at least 400 traffic offenders following the establishment of the Motor Traffic Monitoring and Surveillance Centre last month. ACP Kwesi Ofori, the Acting Director General of Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, said most of the offenders have been processed for court. He revealed that trafficking discipline is a major issue and a lot of lives are being lost on the roads, which has caused the police to intervene. ACP Ofori added that so far, over 400 people have been arrested and sent to court and fined, and in the coming days it will release data on how many have been prosecuted. In Ghana this year, up to 9,520 motor crashes involving 16,226 vehicles have been reported between January 1 and July 31 this year, with 1,706 persons killed and 9,299 others injured in those accidents. The Motor Traffic and Transport Department, MTTD, of the Ghana Police Service has reported. Human factors such as drink driving, fatigue driving, dangerous driving, careless driving, overspeeding, wrongful overtaking, poor vision, mobile phone usage, disregard for road signs and markings, overloading, and pedestrian and vehicle conflicts were among factors that led to those motor crashes, according to the MTTD. ACP Ofori also called on the media to collaborate with the police to ensure a smooth exercise. He disclosed that a lot of people use their cars and drive on the shoulder of the road in the metropolis, and those people are being dealt with. In addition, the police have deployed about 30 motorbikes for Accra, besides the policemen on the beat. ACP Ofori appealed to the media to come into partnership with the police service to name and shame offenders.
Confusion rocked the headquarters of the People's National Convention, PNC, on Wednesday as party leaders engaged in heated exchanges during a press conference to brief Ghanaians on the suspension of their National General Secretary, Janet Nabila. The press conference at the PNC headquarters in Accra turned ugly as the Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the party, Bala Maikankan, kept on interrupting the event with his interjections when the party's communications director, Audu Ishak, was addressing the press. It may be recalled that on August 28th this year, the National Executive Committee of the PNC took a decision to indefinitely suspend Nabila over gross misconduct, insubordination, and incompetence. But she has so far denied all the allegations leveled against her, denouncing the suspension. Bala Maikankan tried several means possible to defend the PNC's suspended General Secretary. After efforts to amicably get him out of the premises for the briefing to continue, some officials of the PNC, together with the police, forcibly dragged Bala Maikankan out of the hall. The media briefing was halted for several minutes following the altercation. In the meantime, the party has given Janet Nabila a one-week ultimatum to hand over to the PNC National Treasurer. The leaders of the party have also agreed for Praise Ajimandria to serve as the acting General Secretary until further notice. Janet Nabila had earlier denied reports that she had been suspended from the party. According to her, the information of her supposed suspension is propagated by the party's chairman, Moses Daniba, and the 2020 flag bearer of the PNC, David Apasera, who fear that they will be exposed for allegedly embezzling the party's funds. She claimed that Mr. Pasera and Mr. Daniba were seeking to frustrate her because she took actions that will expose them for taking funds to the tune of 70,000 Ghana cedis from the party's coffers without accountability or any justifiable reason. She added that the funds were part of an amount the party raised for the construction of its offices.
One they are accusing me of was 30,000 I took from Electoral Commission. The 30,000 I took from Electoral Commission, I credited it into all the 16 regional people accounts. And the money was small. I said, put it down so that when we get more money, we'll add. Why didn't I put it in the party accounts? Anytime money goes into the party account, it gets missing. 1.7 million campaign funds that we kept there. I am the general secretary of a political party. My main responsibility is to keep records and to make sure that I substantiate between expenses and income. The best way we can resolve this is to remove all the illegal people out. People who don't obey the constitution. To do that? Oh, we can do that through a NEC, organizing a NEC meeting. Our constitution says that 1/3 of our party can be able to organize a NEC meeting so that they won't be part. And then they can invite us. No, I don't have the 1/3 is there. The party chairman and secretaries came, and then I heard that they will be serving them a petition today.
New York declared a state of emergency early Thursday morning as the northeast region was slammed by torrential rain from the remnants of Ida, causing heavy flooding and reports of numerous water rescues. At least 46 people died on Wednesday and Thursday, state and local officials said. 23 deaths were reported in New Jersey, 16 in New York, 5 in Pennsylvania, 1 in Maryland and 1 in Connecticut. The carnage comes days after Hurricane Ida barreled ashore Sunday in Louisiana, packing 150 mph winds. At least 9 deaths due to flooding and carbon monoxide poisoning have been reported in Louisiana, Mississippi and Alabama. New Jersey Government Phil Murphy confirmed the 23 deaths in his state in a news conference on Thursday afternoon. The majority of the deaths were people who got caught in the vehicles by flooding and were overtaken by the water. At least 13 people died in New York City, and suburban Westchester County reported 3 deaths. In New York City, the downpours turned streets into rivers and swamped basements and first-floor apartments. The National Weather Service office in New York declared a flash flood emergency, a rare warning for situations where the flooding is leading to a severe threat to human life and catastrophic damage. President Joe Biden addressed the nation on Thursday, promising full federal cooperation with cleanup efforts and urging insurance companies not to use technicalities to limit payouts. Late Thursday, Biden approved an emergency declaration in New York that will allow more federal help for the state. New York's FDR Drive, a major artery on the east side of Manhattan, and the Bronx River Parkway were underwater late Wednesday. Videos shared on social media showed the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway impassable, cars stuck in streets in Elmhurst, Queens, and water racing in subway stations in Manhattan. The National Weather Service recorded 3.15 inches of rain in New York's Central Park in 1 hour late Wednesday, far surpassing the record of 1.94 inches that fell in 1 hour during Tropical Storm Henry less than 2 weeks ago. In New Jersey, 4 people were found dead in an apartment complex after more than 6 inches of rain drenched Elizabeth, city officials said. Passaic Mayor Hector Laura said 1 person died there in a submerged car. Passaic officials also said they fear a woman and her child were swept away by the flooding. Flooding also killed 2 people in Hillsborough and 2 in Bridgewater and 1 in Milford Borough, where authorities found a man's body in a car buried up to its hood in dirt and rocks, authorities indicated. Flooding was also reported in Massachusetts, Rhode Island and Connecticut, where an on-duty state police sergeant died after his cruiser was swept away in flood waters early Thursday morning in Woodbury. In Western Virginia, search crews also found the body of a person unaccounted for in the flooding. The Buchanan County Sheriff's Office confirmed the death late on Wednesday as a result of flooding in the Gesses Fork area of Haley. More than 127,000 homes and businesses in the region were without power on Thursday afternoon.